I gave him tonsillitis. I gave him tonsillitis. The world saw something going well for me dating wise and said tonsillitis. Wow. Hey everybody. Welcome back to Sleepover with Jimmy's. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Jimmy, can you adjust the elephant in the room? I will. I am wearing a Five Nights at Freddy's t-shirt. Yeah, I know. I was a FNAF stan. Oh my gosh, I think Freddy's in the room with us. I'm not gonna put those back up because I've tried to put them back up 3 times now, so I need to get this started. This is a new freaking set. It's not really a set, I wouldn't call it a set. It is a wall of plushies behind me. I had so many plushies, I didn't know what to do with them. And someone left a comment saying, like, I want to see how far you can push. They didn't say that. I just lied to your face. They said, I'm excited to see how your vibe can grow. So I was like, okay, this time I'll actually wear pajamas. Hello, shout out pajamas. And I'll increase the sleepover aesthetic. So welcome to what's hopefully gonna be the set for a while. I'm glad I have this in my hand so I can play with something now. Yeah, so this is a new set. I also did makeup today, but I don't know how well you can see it. I don't know if I want to keep doing it. But yeah, so that's the context to start this episode. Welcome back, people. Now, I've been thinking what I wanted to talk about for this episode, and due to recent events, which I'll get into, I think I'd like to talk about my sexuality and the history I've had with that, I guess, and the trials and tribulations that a young gay man go through in his early teenager, young adult life. So I've been reading Growing Up Queer in Australia, which is an anthology series. I think they label it a memoir, but I'm pretty sure it's an anthology, girl. Anthology series. A combination of a bunch of short stories from queer people all around Australia, and that got me like thinking and reflecting my history as a freaking queer person in Australia and what I would write if I was in that book. At the same time, whoo, the nights were getting a little lonely, I must say. So when that happens, you try to find not someone to feel the night, someone to feel the thirst. Ew, I'm okay. That's wrong. That's wrong. My mum is listening to this. She will be listening to this. So I've waited until she's left so I could record this, so at least she doesn't have to hear it twice. But so I installed the apps, the apps, and I talked to this young fine gentleman. Great conversation, great conversation. The last message was, "I'll message you again once the sun rises." Are you freaking joking? I never got a message back. It's been about 5 sunrises since that message, and there's been no message back. So I think this is the proper week to finally talk about it. Just to clear the air, I'm saying this like most people don't already know. I do identify as gay, but after reading that book, I really like the term queer. Just because queer sounds like a living thing, as compared to gay, it feels very structured. Like you're gay, you do this X, Y, Z, whatever. When you're queer or identify as queer, it feels like it's flowy and it's living and it's ever changing, and that's what I really like about the term. I feel like I don't care if I get called either. Like gay, it's just the easier one to be called. Queer also, like, due to its history, it sounds like a slur. It was a slur, but it still sort of sounds like it. Queer. Yeah. Sorry if that triggered anyone, but I do identify with queer or gay. Um, yeah, I like dick and cock. What can I say? But I think I knew for a long time. When thinking about what I was going to say in this episode, I've been trying to think about like the earliest times I could ever tell, and I do have a few stories. I think the earliest one I could ever tell, I was maybe like 5 years old or something, and I had this dream where I was being piggybacked by someone. Someone I would describe as conventionally attractive, facial hair and muscles, and he also happened to be naked, right? I was also naked. And I was just being shoulder riding. I was on his shoulder ride, not piggyback. I was on his shoulders. And I remember being like, wow, like, this is great. Like, this feels amazing. Not like in a very innocent way. Like, this piggyback with this man was great. Um, that's one of the earliest things I can remember, which is a bit shocking. And then one of the next things I remember is when swimming lessons first started happening at school. Um, I saw, I was seeing people take their shirts off, and I was like, wait a second, like, that's really cool. Like, seeing these guys take off the shirts, I was like, wait, I kind of like that. Not again, not in like a freaky way or anything. It was literally just me being like, wait, like this is like a party. Like, and I also was one of the kids to not take off my own shirt. I was a big kid, so instantly I was self-conscious about like just taking off my shirt. I literally never did it. I still kind of don't do it. I did it for the first time recently in one of my new vlogs as well. The New Year vlog, I took off my shirt off at the beach. Yes. But yeah, I don't do it. When I knew I was gay, I think this is really important. Throughout primary school, my family was sort of like, we don't know if he is, but he doesn't really talk about it, so we're just gonna leave it. I think my mom said, she was like, at one point I did think you were, but then you started talking about a girl, so I don't know. There was quite a few girl crushes throughout primary school. The last one I remember specifically was just me pretending to like a girl, trying to convince myself to like a girl so I could fit in. That was the last one. The first two were kind of innocent. They were like, wait, I really like talking to this girl. In hindsight, I reckon it was just me vibing with the girlies, being like I've never had like a girl best friend before. It's always been guy best friend. So having this like close relationship with a girl, I was like, wait, this is freaking groovy, like party, yeah. But the last one was quite funny. We were both grade 6 captains, like captains of the school, so we did everything together. This is how I got into K-pop, which is so funny. She liked K-pop, she liked BTS, and I like to say that I was freaking one of the OGs because I was there when Dope and Fire dropped. I'm not joking. Like, so I just remembered my Snapchat username. I'm not going to say it just in case things happen and people can find it. But it is a combination of two BTS members' names. But I always used to confuse Rap Monster and Sugar. Those were the two people I confused. I don't know why. I called them something else. Anyways, I'm getting sidetracked. That's how I got into K-pop. Because I liked her and I wanted her to be impressed by me. So I was like, wait, yeah, I'm listening to Fire. But I have a confession to make. I was listening to English covers as well. I was like, I don't understand what they're saying. I want to understand what they're saying so I can sing along and I know what they're saying. So I listened to this girl like making English covers of BTS songs. The things you do for a freaking crush, let me just tell you. So that's the grade 6 crush. I confessed to her on the last day of school, I believe. I was like, hey, I like you. I think I still have screenshots. I wish I could pull them up. But I was like, hey, I like you, whatever. And she was like, oh, you're so sweet. And then she basically like was like, I'm not interested. But she was being really nice. And I was like, oh my God, you're so nice. Straight, by the way. I was being like, oh my gosh, you're so nice. I'm literally crying right now. You're so sweet. Straight boy. Just wanted to remind you. Listen, the closet was made of glass in those messages at that point. I don't know who I was fooling, but I was actually fooling quite a bit of people. Now, this is a bit funny. When me and my friends know how to trigger me specifically, they'll be like, Jimmy, every single person in the world can tell. And immediately I'll be like, what do you mean? What? Like, I'll be quick to be like, no, they can't. Like, I got away with it for years. It's really funny because I actually wonder where that stems from. Is it still me being like, I don't want to be easily recognized as gay? Like I don't want that. That's scary. Or is that literally me just being like, I can't, like, I don't think people can tell sometimes. They can tell right now. I got freaking makeup on my face, whatever. But, I did, like, so in grade 6, after that happened, I was like, I think, like, something's going on here. It wasn't until year 9 that I started telling people. So between those years, that's when I wished I wasn't gay. Literally it got to the point where I was like, I don't believe in God, I don't believe in Jesus, whatever. I'm gonna try to pray the gay away. I would just like get home every night and be like, man, like I really wish I wasn't gay. It's tough. I know it's gonna be tough. Mind you, this is insane. I think I really wish I had the dates like locked in. Either 2016, 2017. That's when gay marriage was legalized in Australia. So I knew I was gay before gay marriage was legalized in Australia. So of course I had all these anxieties. It wasn't freaking legal to be married in my country. Like that's insane. And my heart goes out to those out there who are. Hello? Who's this? Oh, now I got both Yoshis. Yeah, this set is falling apart. My heart goes out to the people who are still in countries where it's not legalized, because I know how it felt. Like, it's actually insane. It's so scary to think you can be locked up for. This is such a basic thought, but it's very scary to think you can be locked up for loving the ones that you love. It's insane to me, and it gets me really, 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 really riled up. But I think it was actually legalized in 2018, which is even worse. I think that's when it officially went through. Insane. So I knew I was gay before gay marriage was legalized in Australia. So that set the scene. Um, I remembered a ton of things. So 2017 is when I started to like enter chat rooms online to be like, oh, I don't know if I'm gay, but I want to find out from like actual gay people how they could tell they knew they were. And I think this is the start of a very, 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 very bad habit of mine, which is anxious attachment. Yay! Because of the nature of online chats, you would talk to someone, it'd be great. They would leave you instantly, like the next morning, you'd wake up after a great chat, blocked, removed, can never find them again. That's gonna cause some freaking anxiety in you. So, my day would be like, I would wake up, I wouldn't really think about it that much. I'd get ready for school. I'd try to hide it, get home, wish it wasn't real. Then I'd enter the chat rooms, talk to these gay people my age, and be like, wow, this is great. And then things would ensue. And then I'd be like, dang it, I wish I wasn't gay. Like, this sucks. Like, I want to wake up and for it to be gone. That's how serious it was. I had this conversation with Naomi in year 9. Naomi in year 9 was my last like fake crush that I had. This one I also just tried to convince myself. I was like, yeah, this is true. So I was like, Naomi's the girl of my dreams, and it's actually pretty sweet. I gave her a plushie, and she still has it to this day. We're freaking besties of all time, which is really cool. So yeah, she was my crush in year 9, and we had this conversation where she could tell, and she was also saying something to me at the same time, and I was completely like, yeah, but it sucks, and I wish it wasn't true. Not like that. I make it sound light. I was literally like, well, yeah, that's never gonna happen. Like, I'm never gonna come out, and like no one's ever gonna see this side of me. Again, that's how serious it was in year 9. That was 6 years ago. I officially came out like properly. I came out to my mom in like January 2022, and then I started coming out to like most people at the start of the school year. Yeah, and then between year 9 and year 12, that was another dark period. That was me. That's when like COVID happened for Melbourne. And if you guys don't know, Melbourne went through one of the most insane lockdowns. We were in lockdown for some of the long. I think we were the longest. Someone overtook us, but our restrictions were insane. We were stuck inside 24/7 for months. I would say, I would like to say, in combination, well over a year. Like, we were in lockdown. So that doesn't do good for mental health, physical health, and it doesn't help with the isolation of feeling like the only gay person in the world. Whew, I get really burpy during these. So what I felt was like, because I was in isolation, I couldn't just see gay people out and about in real life. The only time I would ever see them were in these chat rooms online, and they always happened to be overseas. So literally, I was convinced there was like no other gay person around me, and it was really scary. I had come out to a few people by this point. I came out to them as bi, being like, yeah, I think I'm bi. Sometimes I like watching boys kiss. Lie. I just think it personally, in my brain at the time, coming out as bi was easier because it's like I can still rely on the identity that I like girls, which in hindsight is such a disservice to the bi community. And it's such a big misunderstanding as well. Even within the queer community, bi people are hated, 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 hated. And it's freaking shocking to me because as sexual, like, identity minorities, why are we hating on each other? It's literally insane. Don't get me riled up because I will go on a tangent. But how can you be a sexual minority and hate on someone else within the same group? It makes no sense to me. It makes me really upset. I'm not going to get into it any further. But yes, if you're queer and you hate bi people, then you're not an ally. And I'll take that queer badge off of your chest. Rah! Throw it in the bin. You're not one of us. Get out. Geez, where was I? Yeah, so I came out as bi to people. It wasn't true. Year 12. Woo! This is when I found out what Grindr was. Everyone collectively slut. Okay, come on, guys. Everyone collectively sigh. You know that gif where everyone's like, I can't slap my forehead. There's not much of a forehead, but they all slap their forehead. Yeah. Rightfully so. So this is when I first started having more intimate experiences with queer people IRL. I still remember the first person that like stuff happened with. And wait, I should totally preface, this is not an episode for youngins. I'm gonna get into some detail, some very sad detail, some detail that will be hard to listen to, but also some funky sexual detail. So if you're not comfortable with that, I'd recommend to hop off this video. But so this is the first person I had experiences with. It went fine. I think this was my first kiss. Okay, so my first kiss was actually through the Pocky challenge on the public train system with my friends. I remember it being really salty, which I was like, that's not my favorite. But this was my first like, kind of kiss. It went fine. I was under the presumption, like, you see this person, you're gonna keep seeing them again. This person wasn't into that. Of course, like, I was a freaking noob. It was my first time, so I knew nothing. He literally told me, like, hey, slow down, like, don't get too excited, like, hold your horses, whatever. So that was my first time. This is around the time that I meet my ex. No! Okay, so my camera just overheated when I brought up my ex, and if that's not a sign for what's about to be told, what's about to express, it's one of the signs of all times. Anyways, getting back into him. So this is around the time, hello, people keep falling. I'm just going to leave it now. Around the time I meet my ex, let's get going. So I met him through Grindr. Never meet your ex through Grindr, just by the way. And this was around Christmas time, 2021. We messaged for a bit. The memories just flood back as I talk to this. On the first or second night before, I'm not gonna name his name. Also, don't go witch hunt him. I don't know. Like, I have the understanding, like, if things blow up, I don't want to give too much detail just in case. Like, I hate this person. He's such an evil person. Do not go witch hunt him. All right. But on the second night of talking, I think, he he was talking about his dating history, and he was like, yeah, like, there was this older man. I was like, how old? He said in his 30s. We were 18. So I was like, He did have a type for older people. That might say something about him. That might say something about the context in which he lived in. I'm not sure what it says, except for I am sure what it says. He just thought he could manipulate these older men better than they could manipulate him. Insane. That's how bad this guy was. But on the second night, he told me, like, I've been with this older man. And later on in the message, I was like, I don't know what it's like to be with an older man. But he read that as a diss. He more read it as like, well, I don't know what it's like to be with an older man. And to be honest, yeah, I don't. But I didn't mean it like that. And he absolutely lost his freaking shit. He was calling me names. He was sending me videos of him crying. He's like, "You made me cry to my mom. I've never cried to my mom before." Like all this mumbo jumbo, and me being like this little innocent boy who's like kissed another person like once. I'm like, oh my god, I've just made this person freaking depressed. Like, I've never made someone cry like this before. I feel horrible. So I'm crying, absolutely losing my shit as well. I'm like, oh my gosh, I thought I finally found the person who would date me, and I've just made them cry like this. Like, I feel horrible. This is how I came out to my sister-in-law. I was so sad that I was like, I cannot be in my room right now. I went into the spare room to have a sook and like have a meltdown, and she heard me and she's like, what's wrong? What's wrong? And I'm like, well, I've just made this guy cry who I wanted to go on a date with, and like that's how I came out to her. I wish I came out to her in better circumstances, but it's whatever. This is before the date, by the way. We go on a date after this. We date for a year after this. If that, like, literally, if I cannot take signs if it freaking was like right in front of my face. This one was a red flag waving right in front of my face, and I said, what's behind the red flag? Like, scooch to the side, show me what's behind it. So we went on a date after that. There's this really funny story where we were on the tram together, headed towards the National Gallery of Victoria, and he whispers in my ear, he goes, I'm so bricked up right now. And I'm like, what? He's like, this is disgusting. He goes, I'm bricked up right now. I'm so bricked up. I'm like, what the heck are you saying? I didn't know what bricked up meant. That's how innocent I was, by the way. He was like, I'm bricked up so much right now. I'm like, huh? SUNY stands? Anyone? Anyway, yeah, so I didn't understand that. And I was like, what the heck? This is so weird. And on the train ride home, oh my gosh, I wish I stood up for myself so much more than I did. I tried not to live with regrets. I tried to take them as lessons learned. But on the train ride home, he goes, yeah, I plan to see someone else today. Like, do you want to have a threesome? I was like, no, of course not. Because the plan was like, he was going to hang out at my house, maybe have a sleepover, whatever. And yeah, he was like, yeah, I have a, like, someone else. How bad do you want me to come over? I was like, well, we had this plan. I'm going to be really upset if you don't come over. And then he suggested threesome. I was like, no, I don't want to have one of those. That's disgusting. No shame to anyone who does. Just at the time, I was like, no, I don't want to do that. But eventually, I think he could tell I was upset. So he was like, oh, I'm joking. I never meant it. Like, whatever. But he was literally showing me, like, the address, like, from mine to the other person's house, which was really gross. If I keep looking over there, I'm looking at the time because my camera went flat, so I don't know what time it is now. Anyway, getting back on track. He ended up coming over. We had a great night together. What was the date? This is before New Year's, but after Christmas. So this was on the 27th. That's right. Because we were supposed to go out on the 26th. But I was so nervous. I was like, oh, me and my family, we usually do stuff on the 26th. Like, so I probably won't go out today. And he would bully me over that. So weird. Such a weird thing. Make fun of me, maybe is the better word. We'll save bullying for later. Next time we hang out, it's like New Year's. I'm wondering if I'm getting it wrong. Maybe we go on the first date, then we argue. It might be something like that. Either way, the argument freaking happened. Next time is New Year's. We spend New Year's together. I cried because I was so happy. I would say February, Valentine's is when I first started being like, wait a second. So this was only like 2 months in. For Valentine's, I got him flowers, I got him all this stuff, whatever. He got me skincare, which I was like, what does this say? Like, it's a nice gesture, I guess, but I didn't ask for it. I never said I wanted it. I never said I needed it, and he got it for me. Whatever, brush that under. The next canon event I want to talk about is in June. So he started working at this hotel, and I was like, I left McDonald's because it was the pandemic. I wasn't getting any shifts. I just turned 18 as well, and you know, at McDonald's, as soon as you turn 18, you're freaking too old to send you out to the streets. So I just turned 18. I had no job. I was like, can I please get a job at this hotel with you? You know how people say don't work with your freaking whatever's, your partner? I should have listened. I think you can. I just don't think he was made for it. At this job, one of the first things he said to me was, pretend like we're not in a relationship. He was out. I was out. we always came in together. So like people surely put the dots together, but he was like, make sure like don't look at me, don't talk to me, don't touch me, like we're not in a relationship when we're at work. I'm like, I hate this. And I got really upset, and like it was like that for a while. We did eventually be like we're dating, and everyone was like, oh really? Like wow, we couldn't tell. Like of course I could freaking tell, idiot. This is when he started calling me ugly as a nickname. He liked to belittle me in front of everyone, like in front of our coworkers. So yeah, my nickname to him was ugly. And I remember when a coworker first heard it, she was like, "Is that what you call him?" Why did I turn British all of a sudden? That was really, hello, is that what you call him? That was way worse. But yeah, she was absolutely shocked. They were like besties at work. So hopefully they're no longer besties. I really liked her, which is a shame. A shame because I wanted to be closer with her. Whatever. This is when he broke up with me for the first time, maybe the first time. I remember it so vividly because Stranger Things came out this day. Stranger Things 4, count 'em 4, came out that day, so I was so excited. I was working with my then best friend at the time, and we were late to the station because it was a hotel. We worked at the bar in the hotel, so we finished work at like 2 a.m. My high school life was high school Monday through Friday. Friday, get off high school at like 3, get to the city by 5, work 5 to 2, something like that. Insane. Friday, Saturday, work 5 to 2. Insane. I was making a lot of money. I wasn't happy. So I wouldn't recommend it to anyone else. But on this night, we were late to the train that we had to take because it just took us longer to pack up. That's just the nature of hotel work, bar work sometimes. And on the way back, he was like, on the way to the station, he's like, you guys should probably take an Uber. Like, I'll just go back to my own house because his train line was coming first. So we got to the station, saw that the next train was 2 hours away. So we're like, we'll take a Uber. And he's like, okay, I'll take my train. But he seemed a little pissed off. So I was like, And this was at 2 a.m. So I was already freaking exhausted. I wasn't having none of it. I'm really scared that my camera's going to go flat while I'm in the middle of the story. Anyways, we get in our Uber, me and my best friend at the time, get into this Uber. I start getting messages from him. Why the heck would you take an Uber? Are you stupid? That's so much money. How dare you take this Uber? Like, how dumb could you be? I was like, whoa, like, settle down. I wasn't like that. I was bawling my eyes out in the back of an Uber. Lana Del Rey should save that for a title. Crying. How would I title it? Crying my eyes out in the back of an Uber at 2 a.m. Save that, Lana Del. No. Okay. Anyway, we were in the back of an Uber. He was making me cry my face out, saying all these mean, hurtful things. I remember he called me an emotionally unstable baby, something like that, which was insane to me because I remember the other times he made me cry was when he tried to break up with me. So of course I was going to cry. Oh my gosh, yes. I don't remember. This isn't the night. I think he tried to break up with me another night. And, I was like, why haven't you asked me to be your boyfriend yet? Like, we were dating like 6 months already, something like that. And then he was like, well, one of my friends got together in November, and and another set of friends got together in September. So I was gonna wait until October to ask you out. And I was like, huh? Like, you wanted to complete the freaking trio by making me wait like 4 more months? Like, get out of freaking town. I was not gonna wait that long. I need a ring, Anyway, back to the back of that Uber, yeah. He basically broke up with me over phone. I was crying my eyes out. That Uber must have been like, I imagine him like driving, just looking back and like, ooh, like, something's not going well back there. So I get home, I'm absolutely devastated. I do take selfies when I cry. So this is quite sad. In 2022, I have a lot of crying selfies. Yeah, listen. The next day, Stranger Things 5 come out. I'm like, well, my boyfriend's broken up with me. I'll try to, like, be distracted by watching Stranger Things 5. So I watched, like, the first 3 episodes back to back without brushing my teeth. Like, I woke up, I was devastated, didn't drink any water, watched those. I was like, I need to get out of bed. As soon as the third episode stopped playing, like, I paused it, crying tears, freaking emotionally, like, I'm not going to say that because he called me that. I was just hysterical, as some would say. very valid because I've just been broken up with for the first time. Either the first time or for realsies the first time. There's always going to be an asterisk because it's been a while. You tend to like push away traumatic memories so you can't remember them that well. Yeah. This is before the freaking juice of it all as well. This is going to be a long episode, I think. I'm excited. I hope you're excited. So I'm watching these episodes crying. I get halfway through and I'm like, my mom has COVID at the same time, by the way. So I'm watching these episodes. I'm crying while watching the episodes now. I'm like, I need a hug from my mom. He's not answering my messages. I tried to call him. So I'm like, yeah, I'm going to hug my mom. I'm like, I've just been broken up with. She has COVID. I take the risk anyway. I'm like, I just need a hug from my mom. So I tell her, fill her up on everything, tell her what's going on. And he messages me a little bit later being like, hey, like with that smiley face and everything. And like, I'm sorry about last night. I didn't mean to actually break up with you. I was just a bit tired. And yeah, we're still together. And of course, I took him back straight away. No questions asked. Everyone was like, wait, so he didn't break up with you? And I'm like, yeah. Contracted COVID because I hugged my mum. Yeah. Not my brightest idea. I still defend that, by the way. If you need a hug from your mum, go get that freaking hug from your mum. Don't let, well, actually, yeah, listen, not my brightest idea, but I just really needed a hug. So I had COVID. As soon as I told him that, he's like, you hugged, you like, yeah, he was mad at me. I was like, he's gonna break up with me again. Like, we've gotten together and I've just made him mad. I think he has something going on because when he was mad, he was insane. He was another person, so Rudy Tooty to me. We got back together. Yeah, listen, not my brightest idea. Had COVID for a week, and then we started going on dates again. It was going well. I wish I remember the timeline. Sometime in the later half of the year, his parents were moving out to build a new house. This is what he told me, by the way. Take notes. This is what he told me. His parents were moving out to a new house. The new house didn't have any space for him. And because they were moving out of the old house, he basically had nowhere to go. So, of course, me being his boyfriend, I was like, you can stay at mine. Like, and I asked my mom. She's like, yeah, that's fine. Yeah. This is where everything freaking goes down. I think I remember arguing on the first night. He was upset at me. He like bought all of his stuff. One time I was trying to sleep and he woke me up just to argue with me, and he was so mad at me. He started calling me names again. He's the biggest Rudy Tooty of all time. Yeah, calling me names, whatnot. I was upset with him, so I just slept on my mum's couch. She saw me in the morning and I was like, yeah, I was just more comfortable on the couch, whatever. Big argument. It was basically like that so much. This is around the time of my 19th birthday. Now, the year before my 18th birthday, my mum works at a school, so and this was during COVID time, so she was around COVID a lot. In Melbourne, if you were around someone that had COVID, you yourself had to take a week-long hiatus. What's the word? Not hiatus. Yeah, you just had to stay home for a week just in case. So my mum was in contact with someone who had COVID that week, so everyone in my house had to stay home. And that's how I spent my 18th birthday. So my 19th was my 18th. So at my 19th birthday, he's living at my house. I didn't think I had to invite him to my own birthday, but he was working on that night. No, he was working during the day, so he came home during the party. So I was like, he'll just join us after. Went straight into my room before the party. He's like, no one can come into my room. No, he said, he didn't say my room. It was our room. No one can come into our room. I keep going, yeah, because he was a bully. Anyway, at this party, everyone's like, where is he? Or like, what is he doing? Like, can we see him? Is he going to come out? I was like, no. Yeah, he's just not coming out. And of course, my friends have bags and they want to leave their bags somewhere. So I'm like, yeah, just leave them in my room. Like, that's the safest place. He was like sleeping, except for he wasn't. He lied. He was pretending to sleep. But I put my friend's bags in my room just for safekeeping. And then halfway through the night, I hear my family being like, oh, Carl, your exes. He said he's going to go out and meet some work. No, I think he told me this directly. And then I heard something else. Whatever. The fact is that he said he was going to meet some of his work friends on the night of my 19th birthday party just to hang out and do whatever. I think he tried to defend himself, being like, "No, I was gonna buy presents for him." Um, but no, he literally was gonna leave so he could hang out with work colleagues on the night of my 19th birthday. Loser, you suck. I hate you. Still didn't break up with him though. Ugh. I remember around this time, this is where I was like, I've had enough. I want him out. I tried to ask him to leave a couple times, but he pulled the so you hate me, you want me to be homeless kind of card. This whole time, he could have lived at his parents' house the whole time, because when I kicked him out, that's where he moved back to. He had enough space, there was space for him to live, and then he moved out to this like share house, whatever. So the whole time he had space, he just lied. Loser. Um, but yeah, so it was his birthday, a week after my birthday. And I remember at this time, I was just mad at him. I hated him. I hated when he like got physically close to me. I hated when he wanted to kiss me. Because when he kissed me, he would bite my lip, and I felt so uncomfortable. Like I'm literally tensing up right now. It was so gross. Also I didn't want to kiss him. Like I literally hated him. So you know how that is. It was quite the pressurer. I'm gonna talk about some pretty sensitive things. So if this is gonna being pressured is going to trigger you, I would suggest to click off, maybe go for a walk, get some fresh air. But he was quite the pressurer. This is around the time where I would tell my friends like, yeah, he like asked me to do stuff, but I don't want to, but he makes me feel really bad about it, so I end up doing it even though I don't want to. And my friends are like, hey, that's really not cool. That's really not cool. I would tell a few friends, and their reactions were the same every single time. They were like, "Are you serious? Like that's horrible." Yeah. So he's that kind of person. So of course at his birthday, he like wanted to do stuff. We got into an argument. I was crying, and then I felt really horrible, and I was exhausted. So afterwards, afterwards when I caved in, I used to blame myself, being like, man, I'm weak. That's why I said yes. Wrong. If you're being begged, please do it. This is going to make a relationship better. This is why a relationship is failing. It's all your fault because you won't be intimate with me. Do not run. Run away. Because, if you say no, that means no. Like, at the end of the day, I don't care who it is. If you say no to someone, it means freaking no. Take that for an answer. But I was living with him, so I would say no as much as I could. And yeah, like after something happened, he was like, doesn't that feel much better? And I remember this pit being inside my stomach. I felt disgusting. I was like, no, I don't feel better at all. Like I feel disgusting. I feel horrible. I would say this is when I entered depression. So around this time was my exams, my year 12 exams. I remember I had to cook breakfast for him. I remember when I tried to study, he would put his own job above me because he was working like this full-time big boy job. He worked at Louis Vuitton. Loser, you support them, loser. I hate you. And he was in love with luxury brands, in love with them. He would smell his Louis Vuitton wallet on the train constantly. Smell that fresh leather. I hate you. I hate you. I hate you. Anyways, not trying to get worked up or anything. Let's fast forward a little bit, shall we? Because I don't want to talk about him much longer. Oh my gosh, this is so funny. So after one of the breakups, we had multiple. He was like, I think you need to see other people. I think you're not experienced. Like you didn't basically was with no one before me. I think you need a bit more experience. So following his suggestions, I went to have an experience with a fellow. And I planned to sleep over because it was in the city. It was late, whatever. And then afterwards, I was like that was cool, but I kind of feel like I want to go home now. And then I go home, my ex is not there. I'm calling him, texting him, where are you? Where are you? He said he's at the station. I was at the station as he said that, so I'm walking around, couldn't find him. Walked home. He came home maybe like 20 minutes later or something. So I was like, where were you? He's like, I was at the station, I was walking home. Liar. I think he only I mean, in retrospect, of course, it's clear as freaking day now. When he told me he wanted me to go have experiences with other people, he just wanted that for himself and needed an excuse to be able to go out. Loser. Oh my gosh, what a freaking loser. And he got upset at me. He basically called me a cheater. We weren't together. He called me a cheater because of this whole experience. The experience you told me to go and have, like, you wouldn't stop telling me. It wasn't just, oh, you should go sleep with someone else. Okay, yes. It was, you should do it, you should do it, you should do it, you should do it. I don't know if I want to. You should do it. I know you want to. Okay, I guess I'll do it. Cheater. Like, get over yourself. So this enters a period of time where I hate him. I'm sleeping next to the person I hate. I want him out of my house. I'm asking him, we're fighting, we're crying. I literally don't feel like I exist within my own, like, I have no place to live. I went on a holiday with friends at the time. I remember being so happy being away from him. I was literally the happiest person ever. He didn't really care that much. I'm gonna speed run because I don't want to talk about him anymore. I got COVID again soon after that. He didn't take care of me. He cooked me one meal. Loser. Then I finally get the courage to, I say, I need you to leave. I need you to get out. And I planned a date as well. I said, like, by this date, you're gone. I need you out. He's like, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, I'm depressed. I hate you. I want you out of my life. And he did that. So literally all I needed to do was, like, be, like, assertive one time for him to be like be a little rat. I'm gonna list. Hello. I'm gonna list off a quick few reasons why I hated him, so I can move on. Every time I would do something, he would talk to me about an ex like hookup that he had. So one time I sat on a chair, and he said, "Yeah, one time like I was." Ooh, I don't want to say the F word. One time I was having sex on a chair and I fell over and I hurt my like arm. I was like, okay, whatever. We walked past like a house being built. He's like, yeah, one time I slept with a tradie. One time he smelled something bad and he goes, wow, that reminds me of the one time I slept with someone and his ass smelled bad. Like literally every single thing he would have a hookup story for it. Hated that, made me feel disgusting. I told him, I was like, hey, that makes me feel uncomfortable. He said, well, I don't have anyone else to talk to about them. So I was like, oh, okay, but I feel still uncomfortable. Yeah. Okay, moving on. So this is post X. I was depressed for a while. I did try to like fill the void. I thought I could just date someone off the bat. Because mentally I broke up with him for a long time. So I was like trying to go on dates with people. Still to this day I'm single, so that's how that went. Someone almost gave me chlamydia. Thanks for that. Get tested, everyone. That's always a good thing to do. I didn't have it, by the way. I think they were in close proximity with someone who had it, so it was like someone's had it. I just wanted to be careful anyway. Glad that you told me. And that's basically where I'm up to now. I did have a great time with someone in June, last year. We started going on dates. It was fun. I was like, wow, this guy's really nice, really respectful. He makes me feel good. He's taking things at an appropriate time. I gave him tonsillitis. The world saw something going well for me dating wise and said tonsillitis, like a thunderbolt strike down. I've never had tonsillitis before, so I didn't know what it was. I remember we'd been on 2 dates, and the second time on the train home, I was like, whew, I'm freaking tired. I had my Switch, like Nintendo Switch, in the back of my bag. So I was like, maybe I'm just tired because it's a bit heavy. Like I had the whole box and a few games, so it was heavy. So I was like, maybe I'm just tired and my body is sore. I woke up the next day, couldn't move, no hunger. I had an insane fever. So I texted him once being like, hey, like I'm freaking sick AF. I hope I didn't give anything to you. Yeah, and then I later on when I could like text my friend maybe 3 days later because I just slept for 3 days. I told her and she's like, "Hey, maybe you have tonsillitis." So I got the camera and opened. Yeah, tonsillitis. So I messaged him. I was like, "Hey, I have tonsillitis." And he's like, "No." Of course, listen, I understand both positions. If someone gave me tonsillitis, I'd be like, "Damn." But it was a pure accident. I didn't feel sick either times we hung out. I literally only started feeling sick like on the way home. like even 50 minutes on into the train ride. So I was like, maybe I'm just exhausted. And that makes me think as well, because I know the incubation period, is that what it's called, can be a while. It can be like 2 weeks. So I could have had it the whole time and not know. Yeah, if I knew, of course I wouldn't have freaking seen him. I would have been like, hey, let's not go on this date. I'm freaking sick. So I did accidentally give it to him. He is a nurse student and moving out at the same time. So I think he was really busy. I still feel really guilty about that. I don't know if you're listening. Sorry that I gave you tonsillitis. I'm really sorry. But we fell out of contact basically after that. I think we hung out one more time, and I was like, oh, actually, everything's going great. Yeah, it wasn't. No closure. He just stopped texting, which honestly, in the online world, that's natural. I'm still upset at him over that. I did give him tonsillitis, so we might give it a pass. I had one other date the year before in June, with a person, and that went well as well. We were like holding hands. We saw the lights like in the gardens, the botanic gardens. They did this like nightlight show. That was epic. He asked for a picture together. I was like, wow, everything's going well. He like as he was leaving, he's like, call me anytime and I'll be over. Blocked me 3 days later. And that's where basically we're up to now. I've been on a total of like 2 dates since I've been broken up with. It just never goes well for me. Like when I message people, and that's where we're up to now, where I message this person. I was like, wow, this is going great. I think I'm actually gonna go on a date with someone. Hasn't contacted me since. So honestly, I think the world knows whenever I try to like go on a romantic date with someone, it just doesn't happen. It just doesn't work out. Maybe I'm looking for the wrong people. Maybe I'm the problem. Oh my gosh, this literally just reminded me. I was talking to someone, and it was literally for like a day. So I wouldn't say talking. I was actually texting someone, and because I was free that day, I was texting a lot. You know, naturally you do that. And then the next day, I was really busy. And unfortunately, the last message I sent to him was, "Do people ghost you often?" Listen, I was busy the whole next day, so I literally wasn't on my phone. My screen time was like an hour, and most of that was Google Maps. Yes, I had time to respond. I was with my friends, so I just didn't want to go on my phone. And then he was like, "Yeah, people do tend to leave me on red a lot, or like delivered." And then a few hours later, he texted, "Maybe I'm the problem," with like 3 sad faces, and I felt really bad, but at the same time, I was like, "This is a huge red flag." Like, I really got the ick because he was like, "Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm the problem." Oh, I'm sorry. But really, that's not the way to go about it. Because from that, I receive a few signs. I hear that maybe you're anxiously attached. Maybe you've like, I don't know, you like, oh my gosh, yes, he was like, I put all my eggs in one basket. Mate, stop doing that. That's never good. I know, like, ideally, you're like, yeah, I wanna talk to this one person. I wanna go on dates with this one person. I think, unfortunately, with just how the nature of the dating world is right now in the gay community, it's just really not possible. The thing is, I would love to go on dates with people. I think that's epic. Even like of course romantic undertones, whatever. I just think going on dates with people is fun. Like the nervousness of it all, meeting someone for the first time. I'm a great chat as well. So if I'm silent on a date, I'm gonna be real. That says a lot more about you than it says a lot about me, because I've met people and they've said, "Well, great chatter." Like I do get anxious, of course I do. That's only natural. But once I get going, like I literally talk like this. Of course, I'll give them space to talk as well. But I think I'm an interesting chat, and I'll hold that. What I've learned from these whole experiences is to hold myself to a higher esteem. Him calling me my ex, being him, calling me ugly really, really got to me. So for years, I literally thought no one would date me because I was ugly. Um, and this really did lead into the body dysmorphia of it all. Never good. I'm still dealing with some of that today, to this day. It's a lot better now, if I'll be real. Used to be horrible. But now, literally, before I would never call myself sexy, but now I'm freaking sexy. I'm a catch. I'm funny. I'm handsome. I have a great smile, great sense of humor. I'm a chatterbox. I think I'm fun. I think I'm a catch, and I think that's really cool. finding a date impossible for me. I'm not gonna say impossible because I know you're not supposed to say that, but whatever. Whoa. Okay, dating history. It's literally that. It's so funny. Um, Shout out to all the people that I've like seen. I would say seen, they're not a date. If I've seen you like one time and we were great and we didn't really text after, that's not really a date. Dates have to kind of be like stated. I would say like this was a date. So shout out to all the people I've hung out with like once and it was great and we just never texted again. Shout out to you. Um, what 2026 looks like for me is my friend who she's like, yeah, usually I get a really good vibe about people who like will be dating someone soon. She's always literally called it within the next few months. So the last time we were hanging out together, she told me, I do see it in 2026, but you need to stop yearning for it. Dang it. Everyone always says the right person will find you when you least expect it. And since being like in the closet, being online, like looking for people online, I would say it's been an addiction. Just like having a dating app installed and just talking to someone, just having someone there to talk to. And it used to be, honestly, it used to be a lot easier. And I think that as I've become like this whole person, this confident person, people talk to me less. Now, I'm not saying causation, correlation, whatever. I just found that as soon as I found my voice, my sense of style, how I wanted to portray myself, people stopped talking to me less. So I ran this little experiment recently where I restarted my profile, new account, whatever, and put like nonchalant photos and nonchalant answers. I got so many more replies than I have ever got. And I was like, damn you all, you are all fake. Because everyone, I don't want a nonchalant person. I want you to be chalant. Not a word, by the way, but I'll say whatever. I want him to be chalant. I want him to be happy and outgoing, whatever. I put nonchalant photos. Oh my gosh, king, where's your outfit from? So cute. Y'all are nasty. I would like to go on dates. There's no one in the pipeline. There's no one in my personal circle where I'm like, wait a second, I want to chat them up. It's just how it is. So I put the dating apps to rest after this situation with the great conversation. Honestly, I'm gonna be real. This is gonna sound stupid. It impacted me a little bit because it was a great chat. We're up until 4 a.m. So when I woke up, I fell asleep before the last message. So when I woke up, I saw, I'll message you again. He said, I shall message you again once the sun rises. I was like, oh my gosh, like this is great. We were literally talking about like, when are you free? So I don't know if he like got cold feet, whatever, but I woke up and I saw that. And of course that instills with me, wait for a message. Never getting a message, babes. I've been getting a lot of TikTok stuff where it's like, I've seen let them theory, so I'm going to let him feel about that situation however he wants to feel, and I'm going to control my own feelings, which is, I don't care. Me in the, like, insane asylum, I don't care, in the padded walls, like, banging on them, I don't care, but I don't care, so I'm going to keep telling myself until I don't. This was supposed to be, like, a sexuality talk. I literally had notes. I can't reach them because they're on my laptop on my bed over there. I think I just had before my ex, during my ex, after my ex. Yeah, that's basically it. Wow, great chat, everyone. My camera went flat. No, my camera overheated about 5 times since starting this recording, so there's going to be some cuts. I hope you don't mind. Is there anything else I wanted to talk about? Hopefully there will be a video this week. Me and my friend Shani, we're trying to... Oh my gosh, yes. Maybe I'll save it for another time. I have so many more stories about my ex. I just don't like bringing them up because I know some people are like, you still talk about your ex? Ew. Yeah, if it's been my only ex and it was traumatic AF, I'm gonna freaking talk about it if you don't mind. I understand making someone uncomfortable, like your partner, by talking about it, but I'm gonna talk about it because it freaking hurt me. Like, hello? I'm getting worked up over nothing. Anyways, thank you for watching, and I hope to catch you next week. I've never said this in a video, but I'm going to try to see if this happens. But if you like this video, leave a comment, subscribe, hit the bell so you know when I'm going to be uploading. And I love you. Thank you for staying. Oh my gosh, I didn't do my sleepover motif. Okay, I'll do it now. Welcome to Sleepover with Jimmy's. My mum left snacks on the table. Now she said stay away from the popcorn. corn because it is a bit burnt and that's why it smells in here. But other than that, everything else is free reign. Alright, thank you for watching. Bye. Oh my gosh. Oops.